All right, how's it going, guys? So today what we are doing front brake pads on the BMW E53. All you E53 guys that watch my videos, E39 is basically the same, E38 is basically the same as that. You guys know how to do this already. This video is more for the beginners that aren't used to turning wrenches and their brake lights coming on their dash saying change the brake pads, and they have no idea how to even start doing that. So we're going to go and show them how to do that. We're going to need a few things today. We're going to need, in this case, we use a battery impact with a 19mm. You could use a ratchet. That's to take the lug nuts off. Once the lug nuts are off, we put a jack stand under the car so it don't fall and squish you. We will be needing a couple tools. We'll be needing a small pry bar or even a screwdriver will work. We're needing a 3/8 ratchet with a 3-inch extension. And in this case, it is a 7mm Allen key. And what this is going to do, this is going to remove your brake caliper itself. Now, that being said, we're also going to need a small screwdriver. This is mainly for the driver's side that has the brake pad sensor. The brake pad sensor goes down and fits into the brake pads on the driver's side. It depends on which model you have. It could be on the passenger side too. And that tells you when to change your brakes. Once that sensor gets close to the disc, it's going to tell you, hey, you need to change your brakes. You're starting to get low, which is what happened on this. So the biggest controversy of this video is what brake pads to use. You have a lot of different choices. Your choices at your local auto parts store is a little bit controversial because they tend to get up to $80, $90 for this X5 pretty quickly for ceramics. I just couldn't see spending $90 on a set of brake pads. If you cheap out, I think even the cheap ones there at O'Reilly's or AutoZone or anywhere is going to be 30 to 40 bucks. If you get organic or a very cheap semi-metallic pad, it is going to turn your wheels black, which in turn is going to be this black gunk right here, and that is brake dust. So if you don't want that, don't cheap out on the pads. Well, let me rephrase that. Don't cheap out on the pads at the auto parts store. We still cheaped out, just not at the auto parts store. So let me start off by saying that Prime Choice by no means sponsored this video whatsoever. I've been using Prime Choice stuff for a while for control arms and for brake parts. This place is out of Canada. Now, even though they're out of Canada, we usually get stuff here in Missouri in about 3 to 4 days. So they're pretty quick. The Prime Choice ceramic brake pads, which is what these are, we use these. I think I've got a total of 5 sets of them on BMWs, on Toyotas, and Hondas and stuff like that. We've never had a problem. They've always done really good. Now, here's the catch. These are $13 free shipping. A lot of you guys saying, oh, that's junk, it can't be that cheap. Well, it is. I don't know how they're making stuff that cheap and shipping it, because to be honest with you, a heavy box of brake pads from Canada has to cost more than $13 to ship it. I don't know what's going on there. They keep selling stuff on eBay. These are from eBay and primechoiceauto.com. I don't know if they're the same price on there or not, though. That's what they've been using. They've been doing real good. I can't really say I complain one bit whatsoever. We have no brake dust. All ceramic brake pads squeak a little bit when you back up and stop when it's cold. Just kind of the nature of the beast. So we're going to go and install these on these E53 X5. We've already done the driver's side, and in this video we're going to do the passenger side. Alright, so back to the car. One thing I see wrong, there is supposed to be a metal retainer clip right here. It is missing. We probably have one of those laying around somewhere. That's not that big of a deal. That could be missing. Now we're going to go back here to remove this, and there is it's supposed to be a little cap on this one. This one's also missing. There's a piece of rubber. Now inside that rubber is the Allen bolt that you need to get to. On the bottom is the same way. Put my glove back, I don't get all black. And if you're doing brake jobs and you don't want to get your hands just filthy, get some rubber gloves. You can buy them at Harbor Freight cheap. They're like $7 a box. Alright, so the little cap goes in here and snaps in that hole, right? That's supposed to keep dust and dirt out. Most of the time they're missing. We're going to set that kind of over here out of the way where we're not going to lose it. At that point in time, that's going to allow us to get to our bolts in here. And let me get both hands on that. We're going to go ahead and take those bolts out. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. So we got the bolts out. We had a little snag here, and we have our our cheap Stanley torque spit socket, and you can see it rounded out. I've had these sockets about 5 years now. Used a big impact on them. Only broke one in 5 years. So I think I paid $10 for the whole set of them. Still not a bad deal for 10 bucks. Comparable Snap-on stuff, where they $100 for a set of 10 of these, maybe even more. They'll probably break just as quick. So I would say 5 years of complete and total abuse and hammering on with a hammer. Finally broke one. At any rate, enough of that mess. We have the bolts loose, and we're going to take our little pry tool and we're going to pry that off of there. It's hard to do with one hand. We're going to pry that off of there. We're going to pick it up. We're going to sit it on here. We'll be right back. Okay, so this side looks pretty good. You can see the brake pads are getting pretty low, but they're not totally shot yet. Not too bad. We took the other one off, threw it over here. So the brake lights were definitely coming from the driver's side. They were pretty much totally gone. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to get a C-clamp. We're going to remove this pad, and we're going to go and compress this back in there. Now, you don't absolutely have to have a C-clamp. You can set this back against there. You can take a pry bar and ever so gently pry against the rotor, ever so gently, and you can push that back in if you don't have a C-clamp. Although today, we're going to use a C-clamp. And we're also going to pay special attention to these bolts because they're actually on slides. And we'll probably go ahead and put some lithium grease on those to make sure they keep sliding good. But that's pretty much all the service as far as that goes. So let's go ahead and get that far. We'll be right back. Okay, so here we are. We've got a C-clamp. It's a little wobbly. It's okay. Make sure you don't press against that. Put the screw part inside the hole. Put the other part on top. And we're just going to, you're going to see us compress in. Like I said, the quality of the C-clamp's pretty low, but it should be good enough to do what we need to do here. You just have to go in slow, and we're going to go all the way until it stops. If you don't go all the way until it stops, you're going to have problems. When you go to put the new pads on, they're not going to want to go in. Okay, there it stopped. Going to loosen our clamp up. Put that off to the side. At that point in time, I'm going to pull these pins out. We're just going to wipe them off with a microfiber. I'm going to take our lithium grease. We're going to spray it in there. We're going to spray a little bit on our pin. You don't take a lot. Too much grease will attract dirt, and you don't want that either. We're going to do the same on this one. Wipe the goo off of it. Spray a little on there. And do that. I want to make sure that the threads are flush. When you go to put it back in, it's not bonding up. We're going to take our pad with the prongs that snaps in here. We're going to snap it in there. Just like that. And our other one, we're probably going to have to put him in here like this because he doesn't want to stay in the actual caliper very well. And then we're going to slip this over, and since they're brand new pads, it's going to be a tight fit. If I could do it at that kind of a weird angle, I've knocked it out of the thing here. And they're very thick pads. usually once you get it started on there, it's not that bad. We're gonna have to try to press this thing back in a little bit. It seems like it's not quite all the way in. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so we're back, and we did have to press it in just a tiny bit more. We're gonna go and put our new pad back in. Being careful not to mess up the tabs. You gotta kind of start them with your fingers, and they pop in like that. And now, top started, there we go. And the bottom started, and it's still a tight fit. I don't like that too much, so I might have to do a little modification to fix that. Okay, so we're back in, and all we did was take a screwdriver, and over here, you probably don't have to do this. I don't think this thing's gonna focus on that. All right, you take a screwdriver, and you can stick a big fat flat blade. You can stick it between here, the disc, and the pad, and if it's too tight, you can pry a little bit, and that way when you install it, it's not super tight. Even if it is super tight, it should return. That's kind of a precautionary measure in case you're putting it on and it is too tight. The other option is to put your C-clamp back on again and push it in. This one, once it went past the first little bit here, it seemed like it was okay. These new brake pads are so damn thick, you have to have that piston compressed 100%. Now, what we're gonna have to do, we already tightened our bolts up. These weren't much, I think they're 15 or 20 foot-pounds. We're gonna go and put our cap in the top. And now what we're gonna have to do is find another cap for the bottom to keep the dirt out. And we're gonna have to find this clip. All right, so we're back. We did find another cap. I cannot find another clip. Our scrap guy just came last week. I think gave him a bunch of those old calipers and stuff. I probably got one here somewhere. I have to dig around. That does help the outer pad return. So even though it wasn't dragging before, well, that we know of, if it's gonna drag at all, it's definitely gonna drag with brand new brake pads on it. So that's pretty much all for the brake install. Overall, very simple. Now, X5s have a bad problem with, well, all BMWs do, with everything seasoned to this hub-centric ring for the wheels. So when you take the wheel off, it's really hard to get the, you take the lug nuts out and you can't get the wheel physically off. So what we've been doing with the X5, been taking a piece of Scotch-Brite or sandpaper, been cleaning this ring up, been cleaning the disc where the wheel bolts on up, and been cleaning the back pad, been taking Scotch-Brite and cleaning up the caliper, and we've been spraying it with the ceramic engine paint and then clear coating it. That seems to be holding up very well. The clear coat gives you a little bit extra protection for the road salt starts eating on your paint, and it makes it so when you wash it at the car wash, your calipers and everything look clean again. It makes them nice and shiny. You can use whatever color you want. We just use black. We're just looking for more of a factory look. So we're gonna go ahead and start that process now. We'll come back in a little bit when it's finished. Okay, so here we are, and all we've done here is taken a piece of Brillo pad. You see how nasty it is now. We've scoured all this really good. We just put the first coat on, actually the second coat of black. The clear is not on yet. And we even sprayed our knuckle. Our knuckle is a little rusty and ugly looking. We can't really clean it up without taking it off. And we scoured our entire brake caliper. We took a little bit of solvent. In this case, it was paint thinner and our microfiber, and we scrubbed everything down, got all the dust off. It don't have to be perfect. We hit it with this engine enamel. You buy this at O'Reilly's. You could use kind of whatever you want. I know this stuff doesn't come off, even off of a semi-dirty surface. And you could use low gloss black or gloss black. It doesn't matter, because once you put the clear coat, this is actually clear here. Once you put the clear coat on top of it, it's going to be shiny no matter what. So we're going to let this dry a little bit. We're going to extrude it again, and with the black, and get every little nook and cranny. We'll let it dry about 10 minutes. We're going to shoot with the clear. And what we're going to end up with, and one more thing too, don't worry about getting it on the disc. If you get a little on the disc like we did right here, it doesn't matter. As soon as you take off, it's going to self-clean. You can take some lacquer thinner and wipe it off. You get some on there. It's not really that big of a deal. And this one we did last night, end up with this. And all you can see, if you could even see with this damn camera, a little focused or not, all you can see is just the nice shiny caliper It looks very factory, and as you can see, it's painted on top of here. Nothing looks tacky, nothing looks out of place, and just driving around the block, it's already cleaned 99% of the stuff off of there. Now, a lot of guys won't like getting their new brake pads, getting paint on them. It really doesn't matter. Some guys are super anal like that. For you guys, clean it off with that. Now, if you want a perfect job, you need to take the caliper off, take a wire brush to it, put it in the parts washer, clean it 100%. In this case, we just need more protection than anything. Now, next time we go to take this wheel off, it'll come off real easy. It doesn't have all the corrosion on the inside of it. And also, don't forget to clean the backside of your wheel where it mounts to with that Brillo pad. Clean all the corrosion off of it. That's pretty much it, guys. We're going to put the last coat of clear on here. We're going to go through great lengths try to find that return spring and pull our tools up, and we are done with this job. Not too bad of a job, but shouldn't take any more than 30 minutes per side. We're only $13 in it. If you get up by paint, you're probably another $14 in a can of clear and a can of black. So 30 bucks, front brakes, done. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching.